Hey, I just wanted to record a short little video to go over all the points of reference on an A tag. Remember, A tags are anchor tags. These are hyperlinks. This is how we link to other documents. So here's the HTML code we were doing in class, and this is how it looks as a website. So again, you can see the Firefox link right here. Okay. And then the next one down is the Edge link. Notice we have this attribute here that targets it. And we'll talk about that in a sec. But, oops, I'm clicking around a little too much for you guys. So here we see Edge Firefox. Edge Firefox. So let's just go over the basics here. The A tag creates a hyperlink. That's how we get around the web. And then you need to give it a URL with the attribute href. Remember, the style is no spaces in here. So href equals quotation marks around all your, remember this is a name value pair. We put quotation marks around all our values. They are stored and represented as strings, and then something further on down the line interprets them as code. So this is a URL. And this is another URL. So this will take us to this URL, and this will take us to this URL. These are absolute URLs. Real quick, top level domain on this is org, top level domain is com, and then it's www, Mozilla, in US, Firefox. That's the order in which these things are processed and decoded and gone through the internet. On the Microsoft one, the top level domain is com, then www.microsoft in US Edge. Okay, that's the order in which these things go. This part at the beginning, this is the scheme, or as I will sometimes call it, the protocol of how this does. This is hypertext, I have to go look up what HTTP stands for. I'm blanking on my mind real quick, but HTTPS. The key thing here is the S, meaning that this is secure, that your transmission as it bounces through the internet is encrypted end to end, which means it's encrypted on your side and only the recipient can decrypt it. That's because anybody in between could open up your packets of data and look at them. And so if it's just HTTP, it's sent as plain text over the internet, and anybody in between could sniff it, look at it, and does. The S is critical because the internet is an open standard. It's very open, and so that you're sending messages in an encrypted form, end to end, which is a very key thing. The double dashes here means that this is a scheme, so that this link right here, this URL here, follows this scheme. That's what the double dashes mean. Later on, we'll do single slashes, not double dashes, excuse me, single slashes to represent other meanings. So if we start doing links to files, notice that this does not say in here, I need to put a quotation mark, notice that this does not say, and didn't have a validator out there, so again, this probably works just fine, but I probably should have run this through a validator before I showed it to you. As I was saying, notice this does not say edge.html, okay? That's going to become important later, and the reason we don't need to do that is because we are using this scheme here. It handles which file gets opened up at that location. We'll handle that later. Okay, so I want to talk about the blank behavior real quick, but one more time. A tag, you have your opening tag, you have your closing tag, right? You have your href right here that tells the A tag where to link to. This is an absolute link. This is an absolute URL going to someplace on the internet. So we use absolute links when we go out to the internet. Next week, we'll talk about relative links. Target blank. This is not the default behavior. The default behavior is self, but you can do target it blank. There's also a parent and top. We'll get more into that later. And there's security issues. But what is the difference in behavior? So let's see. If I click on Firefox, notice it just took me to the Firefox webpage. It took me where I told it to go to, right? So let's click back. All right. So now look, if I click on Edge though, notice that it opened in a new tab maintaining the previous tab. Okay. be deliberate when you do this, all right? Scammy websites can open and send you someplace else and redirect you. So you think you're on one, you go to one website and you then get sent to a second website or a second server. You can see there's a potential for issues there. But there are times when you are hoping the user, like I just did, I go here, but you're intending for the user to come back. So generally speaking, the good practice is if you are navigating within your own website, don't use target blank. If there's some reason you need to send the user away from your website, use target blank. And just be deliberate about what your actions are. All right, I hope that is helpful. If you have any questions, just let me know. But that's it. That's an A tag in a nutshell, right? We have to have an A, we have to have an href. This is the target text. I guess we should speak about this target text for a bit. It is generally considered poor practice to write stuff like, well, let me just do one more. Let's just do one more for the fun of it, all right? So I'm gonna just make another paragraph. This is not how to make a link here, okay? So there's a perfectly good sentence. And let's say we wanted to make a link on that right there. So I'm just gonna copy that over there, right? In this case, I'm making here the target. And so let's, I don't know, where do we want to take this to? I need to go grab a link. ESPN. I don't know. ESPN is my go-to, like, hey, is a website working? So let the website load. Okay. I'm going to go and copy that link right there. I'm going to come in here. As I said, we'll just do href equals quotation mark ESPN. Oh, and it already put quotation marks in there for me. So there we go. Save my document. Control S. All right. Let's reload here. So again, this is perfectly fine. Notice the colors have changed here, and that's behavior you can change. Colors have changed here because I've visited, but what am I linking here, right? Click here to give it a meaningful name of what we're doing here, all right? You know, a simple fix to this might have just been to, a simple fix to this could easily have been just to take this portion of it, let me copy this, let me actually copy this right, and move it to here, and just get rid of the here part. Refresh. This is not how to make a link. Now I know what's happening, right? Just don't make links on words like this or link, you know? Use some words and do it. There is a way to hide these, and I'll show you that at a later date. Hope that was helpful.